We're going to count down our top 5 movies of the year. We're not going to put them in any particular order.
Right.
Also, I have 5, you have 5, but some of ours overlap. So these are our favorite or top ones. That doesn't mean these movies are better than yours or other ones.
It's all opinion,
There's other movies on my list that, like, you know, I'm like, oh, maybe that should be there.
If we had a top 10, maybe you can include a few more.
Yeah. So let's start off with this one. This movie is 12 Years a Slave. This is in your top 5.
Yes.
It did not make my top 5, but it's in my top 10. So what do you want to say about this movie?
12 Years a Slave, first of all, it's a rough movie. It is difficult to watch. So this is the first, I want to say, real attempt at portraying just how violent and how rough, slavery, antebellum slavery was here in America. Amistad with Steven Spielberg, it was kind of light, for what it was, I thought. Roots, Family Channel, good series, but, it's a Family Channel. This really goes hard. This goes like kind of Schindler's List hard. If I can compare it to that, I compare it maybe to Schindler's List of antebellum slavery. Great performances, first of all. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Michael Fassbender, Benedict Cumberbatch, Paul Giamatti, Brad Pitt. This goes on and on and on. I can't pronounce this young actress who's nominated for a Golden Globe, who plays, I guess I would call her the leading lady, and is excellent as well. Newcomer, great role for her. Just an all-around great performance. But it's one of those movies, I think you said this after the movie too, is that you see it once, you're good.
Hard to watch, it's difficult. Yeah, great performances. I think it's the reason why, I think it didn't make it into my top 5, but it's only in my top 10 is because of that. Like, I don't know how much, I can see this again. Right. And there's actually several movies like this as well that are in my top 10.
We saw Dallas Buyers Club together.
Dallas Buyers Club and Fruitvale Station are like 2 movies that are similar in that way, where they're very difficult to watch.
Right.
And so I don't know how much I'm going to watch these movies again, even though they're all excellent movies.
Right. I just appreciate director Steve McQueen taking, Fassbender again for the 3rd time, Hunger, Shame, and now this, and just really tackling these tough issues that I think a lot of, you had Tarantino, you had Django Unchained, but that's got some comedy. You can laugh a little bit through that. This, you don't really laugh. There's no laughter in this movie.
No, it's heavy throughout.
It's heavy. So I really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my top 5.
All right, cool. And so the next movie, this is in my top 5, Mud, with Matthew McConaughey. I think Matthew McConaughey is having...
This is his year.
He's having a stellar year because he has 2 Oscar-worthy nominated lead roles, one in Mud, one in Dallas Buyers Club, and a movie I'll be talking about later, Wolf of Wall Street. He's not a supporting actor. He's only in the movie maybe like 10, 15 minutes, but it's a scene-stealing 10 to 15 minutes. It's you'll remember it. So like he's having a banner year. Yeah, this movie I really liked it a lot. It's a movie. It's about love, but it's about like these different kind of aspects and situations of love, like young love and the infatuation. Then you have like love falling apart, like the main character's parents, and then you had the Matthew McConaughey's character and Reese Witherspoon. And that was like the one that they were trying to bring together. There's a great relationship between the young kids and Matthew McConaughey's character. So it's definitely in my top 5. How about you?
I enjoyed it.
Is it in your top 10 at all?
No? I don't know. I don't know if it would make my top 10, but it was really good. I appreciated it. I appreciated Matthew McConaughey's performance. Dallas Buyers Club would definitely be in my top 10. I don't know if this would be in my top 10. I actually like seeing Reese. I kind of came away like, she's always doing like kind of chick flicks, pretty movies, Sweet Home Alabama, but she's a little rough, a little more gritty.
Her character's not that likable in this.
And I like that. I like that she wasn't the sweetheart that everybody adores. I like that. But Matthew McConaughey, this is definitely his year, and he's tearing it up.
And on a side note, Michael Shannon is also in this as
General Zod.
Agent Van Alden from Boardwalk. He's in it as well, and he does a good job as well. Just not a huge part.
Right.
All right, so the next movie we got.
Down the list.
This is one of your top 5s.
Neil Blomkamp is back with his follow-up from District 9. Supposed to be the director of Halo, maybe sometime in the future. It probably will never happen, but that's okay. I love this movie because I like that Blomkamp tackles tough issues. District 9, you had the whole kind of parallel to the apartheid in South Africa, take place in Johannesburg, but he did it with aliens. Here, you have basically all the difficult topics we have here in America right now with border relations between the U.S. and Mexico, illegal aliens, who should be allowed in, should they have rights, should people have jobs, and it tackles it in a way, but it puts the haves and the have-nots. The haves are up in this, looks like Halo, you know. Speaking of Halo, it looks like Halo. This paradise called Elysium. Well, the poor people are down on Earth, which is just awful. This is one of Matt Damon's, I think, better performances that he's done in a while. He got back in shape. He got all cut and ripped. I was like, oh man, let's do another Jason Bourne movie, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I loved how Hispanic the cast was. I wasn't expecting. I think I talked to you when we were done seeing. I'm like, man, there's a lot of Spanish in this movie, which I like because it's L.A. You know, I don't know, it's 100 years from now or something, like 2154 or something like that. So I liked it. There were some things that were rushed. I mean, Jodie Foster's character wasn't developed as much, but I love that Blomkamp is taking these original sci-fi ideas and bringing them to the big. I mean, there's not that many directors doing good original sci-fi stories. I mean, J.J. Abrams is doing Star Wars and Star Trek, but Blomkamp is doing his own stories, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I like this movie. I have to be honest; it was actually one of my biggest disappointments.
You were excited about it. I remember you were.
Yeah, it was in my top like 3 movies that I wanted to see this year. I saw it, I enjoyed it, I liked it, but I didn't really come away loving it. It's not in my top 5. It's not even in my top 10.
No.
It's, you know, there's some cool action sequences. You know, some good performances. I thought Sharlto Copley was great as the villain. I just didn't think it gelled all that well for me. Like I think some of the themes that he tried to tackle, which were like the immigration thing and the border thing, but then also healthcare as well.
Definitely.
For the haves and the have-nots. I think he tried to tackle too many things at once, and I don't think it. Because I love District 9.
Yeah.
So I was expecting like something like District 9, but. Not the story. I just mean in delivery, and it fell short for me. But I liked it nonetheless. All right. So in the next movie, this is my pick in my top 5, which is Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
I don't think I had more fun at a movie this year than Pacific Rim. I think I saw it 3 times in the theaters, like all IMAX, all 3D, just being able to see the giant robots running around fighting the giant monsters. Look, I understand the plot's not that great. The characters aren't that great. Like there's a lot. There's problems with the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that.
This is not Pan's Labyrinth.
No.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just like the epitome of like popcorn blockbuster fun. Just spectacle done in the right way.
Right.
Unlike Transformers, which I feel like. That is not, they use the visual effects and stuff, but like you can't really follow the story. It doesn't seem that fun to me, where this is just fun.
This would make my top 10, and I want to go off of what you were saying. The problem with Transformers is Michael Bay takes himself seriously.
Yeah.
He thinks he's making art, and that's what bothers me is that Guillermo del Toro, he can do art. Yeah. He did Pan's Labyrinth, he can get his Oscar nominations, all that stuff, but what he did here is he's like, look, I want to bring out your inner 10 or 11 year old. He said that before the movie came out. This is supposed to just be, big giant robots fighting big monsters. That's all this is. And he did it. He delivered on it. It's fun. It's supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to like get up in the morning watching your Saturday morning cartoons. That's what that is brought on, $200 million budget.
Yeah, I loved it. I felt like I was a kid playing with my like Voltron toys and my Godzilla toys and having them fight and stuff. So yeah, I didn't have any more fun than I did than in this movie, despite its flaws.
Some news real quick. Just recently it was announced, well, it's rumored, one of the actors, the guy who played, I think the Australian, the dad, the dad of the son, he was announced that the next Pacific Rim could be a prequel. There's a graphic novel out right now that is a prequel story, so the next one that Guillermo del Toro's working on could be a prequel if it gets greenlit. We'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of that borderline phase, but yeah, I hope that happens. So next movie is one of your picks, The Great Gatsby.
This is interesting because a lot of people saw this; they're really underwhelmed by it. I know you were kind of underwhelmed by it. You thought it was just like, eh. For some reason, I just gravitated toward it. I love the visuals. I think it's cool. It's just like a cool movie. The 3D looked good. I mean, it's with Baz Luhrmann, so Moulin Rouge, a lot of bright lights and shiny, fancy dresses. But I just liked it. I just was just drawn to it was such a visual feast. I don't think there's much meat on it, if I'm going to be honest, but it's such a visual feast, and I was just drawn to those visual sensations. I thought the cast was great. I love Leo in this role. I'm sure I haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but. I love Leo in this role. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was okay, you know?
Love the soundtrack.
It was enjoyable for me, but it wasn't like a movie that really got, wasn't in my top 5, wasn't in my top 10. But I thought, visually it was cool. Right. And one of the things that I think was missing, which we'll talk about of why Wolf of Wall Street is in my top 5, is that I didn't get quite the sense of excess and indulgence from that era that I thought like it was gonna bring.
Bits and pieces, but not.
Yeah.
Right,
so that brings us to the other Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Wolf of Wall Street. Scorsese is one of my favorite directors. Actually, he is my favorite director. That doesn't mean I love all of them. Like I like Hugo, I didn't love it, you know. But to me, this movie is like Goodfellas, except for set in Wall Street.
Like Goodfellas meets Boiler Room.
Yes, if you've seen Boiler Room, so it combines that. It takes Goodfellas' story structure and uses that the same type of like story arc and editing and all that stuff, and it is what I thought Great Gatsby was missing, where it does show the excess and indulgence. Right. This is set in the 80s and early 90s of,
American Psycho era.
Yeah, I mean, it talks about the greed of American capitalism.
Right.
All right, and so on to our next one that we both have in our top 5 list, and it's kind of like a controversial pick to some people.
Voted the worst Star Trek film by many Star Trek fans. So.
Yeah, Star Trek Into Darkness. I actually had a lot of fun watching this movie.
I did. I loved it. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah, you talk about that, how it was voted the worst. It's hilarious because that's from the diehard Star Trek fans who are like attached to the old Star Trek. Look, I can understand if you don't like the movie. I can understand if it's, if it's not your favorite or you think other ones. There's no way this movie is worse than Star Trek Insurrection.
Nope, no worse than Insurrection. Not worse than Final Frontier. Spock Looking for His Boat. Not worse. I didn't even like one that much. Just as V'ger, I Am V'ger, like all that's just like, come on. Like this was fun. J.J. Abrams made this movie fun.
Yeah, it's weird because like Star Trek: The Next Generation is actually my favorite Star Trek series, and people are like, how can you like this movie? You like Star Trek: The Next Generation? Star Trek: The Next Generation, yes, it had like deeper and heavier themes, but that doesn't. I love First Contact.
Yeah,
but
I love First
doesn't mean
Contact.
all their movies were that great.
Right.
Like when I think of Insurrection, that isn't even good enough to be a TV episode.
No, I mean, Star Trek's best episodes trump Insurrection 10 times over. I mean, First Contact was so enjoyable, and some people loved it because it was one of the more action-heavy. Star Trek sometimes gets bogged down in its own ideology and its own thought process. I mean, I love Star Trek, but sometimes like with First Contact, it was kind of like let loose. Like it just had fun. This movie was having fun. Sure, JJ's doing more Star Wars than Star Trek with it. That's why he's doing Star Wars, but it was fun.
And some people didn't like the flipping of the script of Khan and all that stuff.
Right.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yes, there are holes like we talked about with Pacific Rim. There are like things that are plot issues and whatnot in it. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. I left the movie, I think I said this when we did our review, it kind of like I left it when I left Avengers. I just had a lot of fun. I was like, man, that was a fun movie to watch. I think I saw it 3 times in the theater or something like that.
I think I saw it twice.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah, and I had a friend who's not just a casual moviegoer, but he's a film lover. He works in the industry as well, and he loved it. And he has no attachment to Star Trek whatsoever. He's not a Star Trek fan. He doesn't watch the TV shows, and it's not like he likes only popcorn movies. He loves like art movies as well. And he thought it was a lot of fun.
It's not like all these Star Trek films are perfect.
No.
Same with like, it's like, oh man, I hope J.J. Abrams doesn't mess up Star Wars. It's like, Star Wars, the last like 15 years haven't been the best for Star Wars fans. So, I mean, we only go up. So, I mean, it's just a new interpretation, and I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different interpretations of Star Trek. You have Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, the original series with William Shatner. I mean, not all of them are exactly alike. No. And that's what I like about Star Trek.
All right, so on to our next one. Actually, our last one. Gravity. This is the one that we both have in our top 5.
That we saw like a year ago.
Yeah, we saw it actually a while ago, and then we rewatched it recently. They actually didn't really change much in terms of the edit or the cut. It was all the visual effects
that were finally finished now.
Yeah, because the cut you and me saw the first time was like a lot of like even just previs stuff.
Yeah, it looked like an old video game or something.
Yeah, like without any textures and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
I thought this was a fantastic movie by Alfonso Cuarón.
Yep.
It's a simple story, but with heavier overarching themes to it.
Yeah,
you know?
you know,
Rebirth,
the whole like, you know, fetal position, you know,
acceptance of death and letting go,
Right.
but by doing that, being able to live your life,
Right.
rebirth of her life. That's basically kind of the motif
Right.
of this.
Probably some of
movie.
the best space scenes I've ever seen in a movie. I mean, not to go realist. I mean, because there's been so much stuff with this movie.
Yeah.
It was so successful. It's like, oh, we interviewed NASA specialists, and they interviewed a lot of NASA people too who saw the movie like, I thought it was a good movie. Not realistic, but a good movie. Again, the movie does not begin with this is based off a true story.
Yeah.
This is a movie. It's fiction, but it's well done. It's beautiful. It's Again, I remember even we saw the visuals weren't finished. I was like, man, those space scenes are so good when Sandra's like, you know, floating and going with the fire.
Well,
and
they had
it
the
looks so
first,
good.
the opening shot is like what, like a 20-minute
Yeah, like almost like- right.
no cut scene.
He wants you to feel like you're
in
in
space.
space.
Yeah, that's why there's not as many cuts in this movie because they want.
Right.
We did a review about this,
Yeah,
so if you want
right.
to check that out. What else can I say about this movie? Yeah, the acting's good. Some of the dialogue, I think, you know, could have been cut out or trimmed down a little bit, but overall, it's a nice. I think it's only like 80-something minutes long.
just a little under an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah,
not
so
bad.
which I think for this movie fits well.
Yeah, 'cause it's not like anything like. It's not like what I love about it is it's in space. There's a lot going on, some disaster stuff, but it's not like the fate of the world's at stake.
No.
It's basically, you know, a couple astronauts doing their mission, and let's see if they survive. But I like that it's not like apocalyptic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really a small movie, but it's got a big scope, but it's still small at the same time it's built. I thought it was well done.
All right.
Well done.
All right, guys, so that's our top 5 movies. Some of the stuff me and David agreed on, some of them we disagreed
Right.
on.
What's your list?
Yeah, exactly. Let us know what you
Right,
think of our choices and what your favorite movies of 2013 were. You can post your comments below on the website thinkhero.com or on our YouTube channel Think Hero Pro.
You also find us on Twitter. You know, chat us up about what you thought your top 5 was, runners up, top 10, top 20, whatever your lists are. You can fit into 140 characters. You can find us at Think Hero. I'm at Griffin DE.
We also have a Facebook page. That's facebook.com/ThinkHeroFans. Make sure you like that page. You know, help us out by sharing and tweeting our videos. Put it on Facebook and any other social network channels.